Hello, Tar Heel Nation. Welcome to the UNC Hoops Talk podcast. I am your host, Dan DeWitt, and as a member of Tar Heel Nation, it's awesome to be able to say that we are the ACC regular season champions. Hopefully, we're not done yet. Hopefully, we got some more titles to add to us. I don't think this team is set out just to be regular season champs. And so, of course, we're going to dive into the two games this past week, and most of the time probably spend on previewing the ACC tournament. But beyond that, this team has a lot bigger goals. And so I hope that you will continue to join me on the journey that will hopefully lead us to something like that. And I'm just glad that you have joined in and are listening to this podcast. I hope that you will share it with your Tar Heel friends and family, and that you will join in the conversation with me. Don't just let this be me talking to you, but that you will give feedback, questions, comments, your thoughts, any of that. There's lots of places to do that. Look in the description below. You can find me on lots of different social medias, email, whatever it is. But I am glad that you're listening. And with that being said, let's jump right into the last week, which completed the regular season and crowned us champs of the regular season. I do want to clarify, we are just the champs of the regular season right now. Again, we got a lot more work ahead of us. But jumping right in, before we get to the ACC Tournament Preview, last week I recorded on Monday before the Syracuse game. And so just quickly looking at the Syracuse game, I know at this point nobody cares about it, but we did pull out a 75-70 win. It was at home, so a little bit closer than it maybe needs to be. Overall, we shot the ball not superbly. We shot 41% from the field, 24% from three, and 68% from free throw line. Not stupendous by any means. We did hold them to 41% field goal percentage, 25 from three, and then they shot 83% from the free throw line. Again, our depth really played a big part in this, as they have, 6 guys in double figures, another guy with 9, so played 7 guys, whereas we have 8 with double figures. Another with 7, another with 6. So not that I say that we need that many to be played. I think, and we'll get to this in the Duke game, I think we finally saw what our rotation really should be if we're going to be as good as we can be. The Duke game is the rotation I like, but we'll get to that. So, yeah, our depth definitely played a big role. Overall, 17 assists for us, 9 for them, 15 turnovers for them to 13 to us. Pretty similar. Out-rebounded them 40-34. Not a huge difference there, but offensive rebounds, we had 19. They had 12. For offensive rebounds, that's a decent margin right there. So that, definitely plays into it. Individually, Bryce led us 14 points, 10 rebounds. And because this was senior night, Marcus being the only other regular starter, Joel starting, which I don't call him a regular starter, but he has started as well. But Bryce then becomes the only starter in double figures. But regular starters, Joel Berry, 13 points, 6 rebounds. Weird stat, 0 assists to 3 turnovers. Obviously, you don't like that from the point guard. Kind of weird. 10 points for Kennedy Meeks, Isaiah Hicks, and Justin Jackson. I believe this, let's see. Well, no, I guess it would have been before the Syracuse game, where it was Jay Williams calling out kind of Roy Williams to start Isaiah Hicks over Kennedy Meeks. Obviously, it didn't matter in this game with the seniors starting, but as far as minutes go, make sure I get this right here. Kennedy Meeks just with 13 minutes. Isaiah Hicks, 22 minutes. I know I said on Twitter, I think it was on Twitter somewhere, I was saying, of course, I called out Kennedy Meeks because I agreed with Jay Williams. I thought Isaiah Hicks should be starting over Kennedy Meeks, but Kennedy Meeks then goes for 10 points, which is the first time he's been in double digits since really he came back from his injury. 3 for 5 shooting, 4 for 4 from the free throw line. Did only have 3 rebounds, but again, 13 minutes is well below his season average even. And then, Justin Jackson as well, 10 points. Again, we did not shoot the ball well, 6 for 25 from the three-point line. And yeah, it's really, our depth, our athleticism, being able to pound it in and, get them in foul trouble. They had 2 guys with 4 fouls, a couple more with 3 fouls. So even though nobody fouls out, when you have that foul trouble, you don't play defense the same way. We had nobody with more than 3. Marcus Page continues to struggle. 2 for 10 shooting overall, 1 for 7 from the three-point line. In this game, did contribute 8 assists, just 1 turnover. Again, a little bit more of him at point. I don't know. I don't think that's made as big a difference as maybe what people thought they would, or maybe even Roy thought. It's not, it's not what's going to kill us or help us from what we've seen in the 2 games since Roy has kind of talked about playing him there more. So yeah, we get the win. We stay in first place in the ACC. It's all good. Probably hurt Syracuse's chance to make the tournament a little bit. They finish. I guess they were 9-8 here. I don't even know what their last game was, if they won or not. But around 500 in the ACC. Let's see. Actually, I think I have it up. Okay, never mind. I don't. And then we'll get to the tournament as well and see who they play and if they're going to get in. But I don't know. I don't want to say even solid win for us. It's a good win because it's a win for us. It's at home, so we should have. And yeah, we got our seniors to start, and the whole senior night, very emotional with Marcus and Bryce and their speeches and all that good stuff. But that's not really what we're here to talk about. Let's spend some more time here on the Duke game. So Saturday night rolls around. It's in Durham. It's the game day game, and I don't know. It did not. Of course, it made me happy. We won. We beat the Duke Blue Devils 76-72 on their home court. Senior night isn't a big deal because there's only Plumlee, and it's not like it wasn't like the time that we went in and spoiled JJ and Sheldon Williams senior night. It wasn't that big a deal, but obviously it made me happy to win. It did not satisfy me the way we played, though. It was almost identical to the first game. We were just absolutely dominating them inside, dominating them on the boards, and we can't pull away. I don't know how to explain it. Besides, you have to give Duke credit for knocking down some shots, for playing tough, and you have to, I think, blame us for not getting the defensive stops, for not being able to pull away. I don't know, for whatever reason. I don't know if this team, if these guys, if the moment's too big for them, they're scared of. I mean, it only seems to be Duke. It's not like we can't. We killed Maryland. They were supposed to be a top team. Played right with Virginia in their building. For whatever reason, we couldn't pull away from Duke. And yeah, like I said, we just dominated the first half. You'd think the way the game had been going, we'd be up by 15, 17 points, and we were up 8 at halftime. Second half, still can't pull away. The way we're playing, we should be up, 15 to 20 points. They're at 4 or 5 point deficit. So I don't know. I can't explain it. It doesn't make me happy. I guess the one good thing is we may see Duke in the ACC tournament. Other than that, we don't have to play them anymore. I'm not scared to play them or whatever. I think we should win. I think we should blow them out. But for whatever reason, we don't. And I don't have any control over that. Just the rosters don't have any control over that because that's not changing. We're not going to add anybody. Well, I guess they could lose somebody, but you don't want to see people injured, and you want to beat teams, when they're their best. That tells you you're really good. So Yeah, I'm glad that we don't have to see Duke anymore. You know, I'm not scared to see them, but yeah, we don't have to play them anymore. Um, so, like I said, this roster is the one I like, or at least this rotation is the one I like. We played 8 guys, 7 of them in double digit minutes played. And really, you can say 8. Isaiah Hicks only played 9 minutes, but that's because he got a foul every minute and a half, and he couldn't keep going. So obviously, I'd like, you guys know this if you've listened to the podcast enough. I like Isaiah Hicks' numbers or minutes to be up from 9. Kennedy Meeks, though, again responded. Maybe I need to call out everybody on our team besides Bryce. He's been bringing it every game, but other than that. Yeah, I mean, everybody played pretty well. We didn't shoot the ball extremely well, especially from 3. We did not shoot well. We shot 36% from the field, 17% from the 3-point line, then 87. Really, free throws won the game for us in the end. We held Duke to 37% shooting from the field. They did shoot 38% from the 3-point line, 60% from the free throw line. So really, I guess we should have let them or forced them into take more 2s. They were hitting 3s at a better rate than they were 2s. But of course, we don't guard the 3-point line very well. And maybe that's our problem with Duke. What I don't understand is why we can't trap Duke or press Duke. I mean, they're playing, 6 guys. Let's see, how many people got minutes here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They had 6 guys in double-digit minutes, and then Chase Jeter had 7 minutes. So I guess you can play 7. Say they're playing 7 guys, but really they're playing 6 guys. Jeter comes in when somebody's in foul trouble, or gets hurt, or just absolutely has to spell somebody a couple minutes before a timeout or before half or anything like that. I mean, Duke had 6 turnovers in this game. Like, why can't we put some pressure on it? Like, even if we don't trap or anything, just have our point guard go and press Thornton or Grayson or whoever's bringing the ball up. Like, put some pressure on them, make them a little bit tired. Like, throw something at them. I don't know. We've thrown traps at people. We've done stuff. The only change that we made in defense is going to the 1-3-1 at the end of the game when they buried the corner 3. Like, I don't know. I just will not ever understand why we don't press a team when they don't have numbers. Like, let's get them in foul trouble. And that's the other thing, foul trouble. Like, Grayson Allen finally fouled out when they had to foul at the end of the game to put us on the free throw line. I mean, Brandon Ingram, just like Plumlee in the first game, had 4 fouls with like 10 minutes left to go in game. We didn't even give him a chance to get called for another foul. The closest he came was like when he elbowed Justin Jackson in the nose, and Justin got called for the foul. And I don't even know if it was – I'm not even saying it was an offensive foul. Like, it's whatever. But that's the closest he came to fouling out. Just ridiculous. Like, again, we should go at him and go at – he's one of their best players. And we, don't even challenge him to where he can get a 5th foul. And, I mean, the game's over at that point. If he fouls out with 10 minutes, 8 minutes, 5 minutes left in the game, like, I don't know. I just cannot understand it. And will not understand it. Other than that, we played pretty well. Obviously, we rebounded the ball well. Final numbers ended up at 64 rebounds for us, 29 rebounds for them. We had 27 offensive rebounds to their 8. Bryce had 12 offensive rebounds by himself. Again, Duke had 8. Kennedy Meeks had 6 offensive rebounds. Again, Duke had 8. Bryce had 21 rebounds overall. Duke had 29 overall. Between Kennedy and Bryce, let's see. Yeah, they out-rebounded Duke by 5, 6. I mean, it's just crazy. The way we dominated inside, how we weren't able to pull away will blow my mind forever, or as long as I think about this season. Again, Bryce leads us 18 points, 21 rebounds. Kennedy Meeks, and all the starters scored in double figures as well. Kennedy Meeks, 12 points, 14 rebounds. Justin Jackson, 13 points, 4 rebounds. Joel Berry, 12 points, 7 rebounds. Again, 0 assists, 1 turnover. I don't know. I didn't realize that. didn't notice that until right now, but very strange. Marcus Page, 11 points, 6 rebounds. And then off the bench, Theo gave us 6 points, 4 assists, 5 rebounds. And then Isaiah in his just 9 minutes because of foul trouble, 4 points. But yeah, 3-point line shooting, terrible. Justin 1 for 5. Joel Berry 2 for 9, although one of them was really huge. Marcus Page 1 for 8. And Theo was 0 for 1. And some of Marcus's, I mean, he was wide open and just, I mean, they weren't even close, like going off the sides of the rim and off the backboard. And I mean, it was ugly. Like I tweeted out at one point, they might as well leave Marcus Page wide open. Like he's not hitting anything. It was crazy. And then what saved us was free throws. Kennedy missed 2. We only missed 3 as a team. We were 20 for 23. Kennedy missed 2, and Justin missed 1. Otherwise, Bryce is 6 for 6. Joel's 4 for 4. Marcus 4 for 4. Theo 2 for 2. And between Theo, Joel, and Marcus, some big ones down the end to keep that lead. Because again, we only won by 4. Turnovers, we had 14, which isn't horrible, but they only had 6. If we can't force more than 6, then yeah, there's going to be problems. So that's stat-wise as far as the Duke game goes. Again, we should have won by more. There's just no other way to put it. Part of me, I guess, says let's get a third chance of them in the ACC tournament, and and blow them out. But I don't know that's going to happen. I mean, the way we play against Duke, like, who knows? It's I don't know, it's crazy. But before we get into the ACC tournament and the bracket and all that, some of the awards. Bryce Johnson came in, and just so you know, I'm using the ACC coaches awards. Although I looked at the media awards, they're not much different. But Bryce Johnson came in second for Player of the Year voting to Brogdon from Virginia. First team was Bryce Johnson, Malcolm Brogdon from Virginia, Grayson Allen, Jerron Bluesomgale Jr. from Clemson, and then Cat Barber out of state. And really, that's the only person out of North Carolina that made any of the All-ACC teams. We had nobody on the second team, nobody on the third team, which is crazy. We win the league and don't have anybody else on first, second, or third team. But on top of that, I don't know who you'd put in there. I mean, Marcus hasn't played up to that. Justin, I don't know what his averages are compared to these guys, but maybe he could have jumped him into the third team or something. Joel, I think, would have been probably the best bet, maybe a third teamer for Joel Berry. But again, I don't know what his stats are compared to the guys that did make it. I just think it's crazy that one guy out of the top team. That doesn't mean there has to be. I mean, obviously Bryce was up and above everybody else on our team, but it's just weird that out of 15 people, we only got one of the top 15, and yet we win the league. I don't know. Hopefully that means we're balanced and we can go a ways in the tournament. But just quickly looking at other teams that had 2. Duke had Grayson on the first team and Brandon Ingram on the second team. Virginia had Brogdon as the Player of the Year, and they have a guy on the third team. Miami has a guy on the second team and then a guy on the third team. And I think that's it for doubles. So maybe the league is just that big that, you only get one per the 3 teams, maybe 2. Other awards for North Carolina players. Isaiah Hicks was the 6th man of the year. And Bryce Johnson made the All-ACC defensive team, which is kind of crazy the way Roy has always talked about his defense. But he did make the All-Defensive team. I think it's because we led the league in defensive rebounds and we kept people's field goal percentage down. And Bryce led the league, I think, in defensive rebounds for individuals. Of course, he's blocked some shots. He's not crazy awesome at blocking shots or anything like that. But that's about it. I guess you can say it was Justin Jackson and Marcus Page were honorable mention for all ACC teams, but that just means somebody voted for them. Like you get a 1 vote and you're an honorable mention. So not that big a deal. That's about it for the all ACC. Bryce, of course, will go on to be on a lot of people's All-American teams around the country. And I will try to let you know any of those that I've spot and see. But Now moving on to the ACC tournament. Again, it's tournament time. It's awesome that it's here. It's so ready for it. North Carolina, of course, gets the well, we knew they had a double bye. They get the 1 seed. Don't have to play till Thursday in the quarterfinals. We play at noon Eastern on Thursday, and we will play against either Pittsburgh or Syracuse, whoever wins on Wednesday. And that also is a noon game. So if you want to see who we play, watch Pitt and Syracuse at noon Eastern. And for all of the ACC tournament, well, I guess on tomorrow on Tuesday, as I'm recording on Monday, the games say ESPN2 or ACC Network. Pretty much all the rest of them are ESPN or the ACC Network. And all of North Carolina's games say ESPN or the ACC Network. If you want to look where to find them. So if and when North Carolina beats either Pittsburgh or Syracuse, and I don't know how those teams matched up during the season, so I don't even want to guess really who's going to win that. But when we beat them, we get either Notre Dame or Duke in the semifinals, so that should be interesting. I don't know. Between Notre Dame and Duke, I almost do want to play Duke. If you remember what Notre Dame did last year in the tournament, of course, they're not the same team. They beat us pretty nicely during the season. And, of course, it would be nice to beat Duke again. So, I don't know. We'll see about that. But we play on Friday, if we win on Thursday, of course, or when we win on Thursday. We play at 7 p.m. Eastern on, again, ESPN or ACC Network against Notre Dame or Duke. And that game, Notre Dame, I guess Duke does have to win their first game, which would be against NC State or Wake Forest. But the good thing would be Duke would be playing their third game in 3 days. It would just be our second game. So, yeah, whatever. To me, I don't know. I've been trying to think about this. Do we want to win the ACC tournament? Do we want to get the rest? I don't think we need the rest. Again, we're deep enough. You get a long enough rest from Saturday to Thursday or Friday, whenever you play in the NCAA tournament first. What I don't want us to do is like win the first game, lose the second one. Like that's just dumb. Like let's either be in the championship or just be done right away. Of course, that's not as likely. We should win as the 1 seed the first day. It'll be a tough game in the semifinal. I mean, we're in the ACC. We're going to get, man, I would think we'd get 7, maybe 8 teams in. I say, well, 6, maybe 7. I say we're going to get 7 teams into the tournament this year from the ACC. So, yeah, once you get to the semifinal, the top 4 of that, like, it's going to be a tough game. So, I don't know. I'm trying to think of what my prediction is. I didn't put a lot of thought into the ACC tournament and what I wanted to happen. I guess what I would like to happen, if I could just kind of pick, of course, would be us to beat Duke. And then I think we'd want revenge on Virginia. We'd beat Miami, beat them pretty handily. Of course, they would have the revenge factor then. I think, let's beat up on Duke. It's their third game in 3 days if they make it that far. And let's beat Virginia for the championship. Let's be ACC regular season and conference tournament champions. I guess the one thing would be, I believe both times Roy has won the national championship at North Carolina, we lost in the ACC tournament. And so I guess we'd be superstitiously going against that trend if we won the ACC tournament. But I mean, the NCAA tournament is going to be crapshoot enough with all the teams all over the place, teams not being able to win on the road, things like that. Let's go ahead and win the ACC tournament. And I think that's going to be my prediction. Although what I would love to happen would be Boston College just run through. Heck, I would take losing to I don't know. I don't think I can take it. We'd have to lose to like Notre Dame in the second round or something. I wouldn't want to lose to Boston College. But if they could run through and make the tournament, that would be so. Like, I don't know if you guys know the Boston College story this year. They went 0 for whatever in football, and they are right now 0 for whatever in basketball. I think I heard it like they're 0-26 in the ACC this year. That's just crazy. Crazy. Like, can't win an ACC game in football or basketball. Like, everybody just happens to win at some point. Like, that's just crazy. But yeah, it is what it is. It would be really funny if Boston College went through and won and got a bid because they won the tournament. But yeah, don't think that's going to happen. So if they're not going to win, we might as well win it. Yeah, and that's my thoughts on it. I don't know. Notre Dame, Duke. I think Notre Dame can beat them. Again, Duke playing a game the day before. Heck, let's have NC State beat Duke. I don't really care. Let's see, Clemson. And Clemson one is probably on the bubble. If they can beat Georgia Tech and play Virginia close, I think they should be in. Of course, they beat Virginia. They should be in. Virginia Tech is an interesting one. They should be able to win their first round, and then if they can beat Miami, maybe they're in. Again, Pittsburgh and Syracuse are probably both right there on the bubble. Whoever wins that one, if they can play us tough or beat us, they're probably in. So there's a lot of intrigue in especially for the bubble teams, the middle of the ACC, a lot of intrigue on, if they're going to win their first game and really how tough they play and if they can upset anybody. So it should be an exciting big ACC tournament. I will be watching. Again, I said last week, this is my favorite time to be a stay-at-home dad where I can watch these games. And when they're during the day like this, it's awesome. Put the kids down for their nap and just turn the TV on. Wife, I'm getting some work done here and all that stuff. It's all good. And then when we get into the NCAA tournament, that first weekend, Thursday, Friday, with all those games during the day, oh man, it's heaven, I tell you. I wouldn't trade it for anything. Much better than when you're working and you're following the scores on the computer. Of course, now when I was actually working, had to follow the games. I couldn't have them on. Now you can stream the games and you can actually watch them. But nothing like being able to multi-screen it. Have a game going on the iPad, a game going on the computer, a game on the TV, 2 games on the TV with split screen. It's glorious, and I'm ready for that time. I'm ready for this week with the conference tournaments and day games like this. It's awesome. So if you're in that same boat, hit me up. Let's talk some college hoops. If you're not, hit me up. Let's talk some college hoops. Of course, next week we'll get into North Carolina games in the AC tournament, and we'll cover those and talk about what happened, what went right, what went wrong, what we need to fix before the NCAA tournament. We'll talk about Selection Sunday, of course, which is coming up this Sunday, where we're placed. We'll talk about the whole bracket. And at some time before next week, Thursday, I will go through my bracket. I would love to see your bracket. You can, again, tweet it at me, take a picture and tweet it at me, email it in. Or maybe we'll have to get, like an ESPN challenge, whatever they call it, their challenge or their bracket. You can join in groups and stuff. Maybe we'll have to get a group for the UNC Hoops Talk podcast going, all the listeners in there. But yeah, give me your feedback. Again, thanks for listening. That's really all I got for this week. And I'm so excited going forward. I hope you're just as excited, and I hope that you will get in touch with me and we'll chat all about it. Other than that, thanks again for listening. And this is Dan DeWitt for the UNC Hoops Talk podcast signing off. Just remember, go Heels.